Hey guys, welcome back to a new sewing tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to draft out a Princess Dart Off-Shoulder Bustier top. So if you would like to see that, keep on watching. But before we head right into it, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, thumbs up this video because it helps me a whole lot, and then leave a comment. So the first thing we are going to do, we are going to start from the neckline. Remember that this is an off-shoulder top, so we don't have to start from the shoulder. This top, I don't want any cleavage. I don't want any form of cleavage on my clothes, and I want the neckline to be straight cut. I don't want sweet hard neckline, all of those razzmatazz. No, I want it to be a very classic, clean top. So I'm going to start from 4 inches. This is where I want my neckline to start from. So if you want your neckline to be, maybe you want to have cleavage, you can start from 6 inches. You just do you. So I'm starting from 4 inches, and then I'm going to mark my upper bust length. My upper bust length is 6.5. Then I'll mark my bust length. My bust length is 11. Then my under bust length is 14.5. My waist length is 16.5. And then my full length, I want this top to be a full length, is going to be, let me use as of now 25 inches. Okay, so I'll go ahead and replicate these things and then connect everything together. So the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and label out these things. So I'm going to do upper bust length. This is obviously our neckline. Then bust length, under bust length, waist length, and then full length or hip length. So the next thing we are going to do is to go ahead and mark out our darts, or not our darts, sorry, the bust pan, or nipple to nipple. And what's your nipple to nipple is, for me, is 4.5. So I'm going to mark the 4.5 from the very beginning to the end. Okay, and then I'll connect everything together. The next thing I am going to do is to shape out the cup. So I'm going to be using this red marker so that you can see that. So I'm going to come to the waistline and go in by 3 inches. Now it is because my bust is 44 inches, give or take 43, 44, and I am a busty person. If you are a skinnier person, you can use 1 inch. I will also mark it here at the full length, and then I'll go ahead and connect everything together. I will also go ahead and mark the 3 inches at the under bust here, okay, and then connect it down to the waist. At this under bust here, I'm going to go in by 1.5. Okay, so then I've gone in by 1.5. I want to connect this from here. Okay, then this is also our bust length. I'll connect this way, and this is me forming my curve. You can also not use freehand. You can also decide to use like your curve ruler. But can you see what I've done? That's why I say you should go in by 1.5, because even with my curve ruler, my freehand is still perfect. So there are different ways you can go ahead and do this. So the next thing you are going to be doing is at the neckline. Okay, at the neckline here, you are going to go in by 2 inches. This one depends on how curved you want your stuff to be. You can even come in, like go out this way by 1 inch, but because I'm also a plus size girl, I'm using 2 inches. So these 2 inches I've used now. I'll come and connect these to this my bust point here on my bust line. So this is what I am going to have. Okay, so now I've gotten this out, we are going to go ahead and impute our measurements, our body measurements. So my body measurements from the waist under bust length here, at my under bust length, I am going to do this, measure out my round bust. My round bust is 44 divided by 3 is 11. Okay, I'll mark my 11. So this is my 11 inches. I'll go ahead and add 1 inch for sewing allowance. Okay, so I'll replicate the same thing as at the bust side. So let's do the same thing at the bust side. 11, and then 1 inch for sewing allowance, 12. Then at this under bust length, my under bust length is 30 inches. Okay, so I'm going to do 30 inches divided by 4 is 7.5. So the next thing I'm going to do is to measure out the 7.5. So from here to here is 4.5. Remember, from here to here is 4.5. So I'm going to start carry my 4.5 to this place and then mark my 7.5 inches. Then I also mark my 8.5 inches, making 1 inch my sewing allowance. So for my waist, my round waist is also 30. So I'm going to replicate the same thing, 7.5. So I'll start from here, 4.5. Okay, so 7.5, sorry, 7.5, and then 8.5. So at the full length, my round hip is 50 inches. So I am going to do 50 divided by 4 is 12.5. So I already know that from here to here is 4.5. So I'm going to place my tape from 4.5 here and then mark my 12.5. Now I've marked my 12.5, I'll go ahead and mark 13.5, making 1 inch our sewing allowance. Okay, so what I'll do next is to connect these lines together. Let me use the green, this one, and mark out for our actual body measurement. Okay, so this is what I'm going to have. So what I'll do is I'll come up here by 2 inches. These 2 inches, guys, I am not going to cut it out now. I'll leave it and then cut it out using after I've cut the back side. So at this upper bust here, I'm going to use a measurement called armpit to armpit. So you're going to measure your armpit to armpit to get this part, okay? And my armpit to armpit is 14. I'm going to go ahead and divide it by 2, which is 7 inches. These 7 inches, I'm going to mark it here. I'll just add 0.50 as the sewing allowance at this point, okay? So I will now connect this from here to this our measurements. This way, I am not going to have any gaping. No, sorry, not just gaping. No, I made a mistake. It's not gaping I wanted to say. Because you're a plus size person, your armpit fat, me, I don't like when my armpit fat is showing. When you do this way, your armpit fat is going to be covered and you are comfortable and slaying. Do you understand? Yeah. So now we are going to go ahead and cut out this. This is the center front. And then this is the side front. This is the upper side. And then this is upper side. This is the lower side. Then this is the lower side. Everything here is going to be going out. And this is our front pattern. But before I cut this out, I'll just cut out just the whole pattern on its own. Okay? Remember I told you I'm not going to cut out this yet. So I'm going straight forward to get my measurement, sorry, my cutting. So I'll go this way. Then I'll go this way. This outfit now, I'm going to leave it like this. I am not going to cut this place open just yet. I want to use it and draft the back pattern before I now go ahead and PCC it. All the things I marked in the front part, that is what I went ahead to mark at the back side. Okay, so let me keep the front pattern here and then we'll continue. This is my pattern, the back pattern. I don't want it to have any opening like slashing here. I want it to be like one piece. Do you get? So for me to eliminate any form of folding so that my zip is going to be perfect and snatched at the back, at the waistline, I'm going to go in by 1.5. Okay, go in by 1.5 here. So at this 1.5, I'm now going to connect the upper bust length here to the 1.5, and then I'll come back out to the full length. Okay, yeah. So this is what I'm going to be having. So as it is from here, I'll now start taking my measurement. Remember that here we did our armpit to armpit, which is 14 divided by 2, 7. I marked 7, and then I added 0.50, which is 7.5 here. At the bust length, I did my round bust divided by 4. That is 44 divided by 4, 11 plus 1, 12. I will start taking all my measurements from this new line, this line, not from the beginning, this line, okay? So I'll get my 11 here, and then 1 inch sewing allowance, which is 12, okay? Which is 12. At the bust line is the same thing, so I'll not bother marking it again. So at this under bust line, I'm going to have 30 inches, which is 7.5, okay, from here, and then 8.5, 1 inch. Then at the waistline is the same thing, 7.5, and then 8.5. You see how this thing is very easy. This way is very, very easy for you to do. So for the round bust, sorry, the full length. Obviously we are doing our round hip. Round hip is 12.5 plus 1 inch, that's 13.5. So I'll go ahead and connect everything together, guys. So I'll now use my hip, my round armhole curve, and connect my round armhole here. So this is what we are having. My neckline, I don't want my neckline to honestly to be like straight at the back. I want it to come down to have like a form of a V. So I'm going to mark, remember that our neckline is what are they calling it? Our neckline is 4 inches. So I'm going to come down to 8 inches. Okay, so at this point I'm going to go in by 1.25. It is from this 1.2 that I will now connect this. I don't want my cloth to shorten. I hope this makes sense. I'm just going to mark this straight. So this is what we are going to have as our pattern. So we are going to cut out these places. We are not going to be needed here and then here. Okay, so this is our back pattern, and it's only just one part, like one piece. So I'll go ahead and cut this out. I'll come up here, I'll come here and then mark my 2 inches so that we can make that curve that we made the other time for the front pattern. Okay, so I'll now use my hip curve, and this is my curve ruler, and bring it back here. But I'm not going to cut this out. I'll leave it this way. This is the back pattern, so this is what I'll use and cut my back pattern, and then this is what I'll use and cut my front pattern. So let me go ahead and open up this front pattern. This is what we have, guys. This is the first pattern. Let me go ahead and reduce this thing so it's not sharp. Okay, I'm cutting out this place so that it will not have some form of gaping. Like I want to tighten it. That is why I'm taking it. You see, I didn't touch here. I just took this side inwards a bit. Okay, this is what I'm doing. You see the way it looks, so that I am not going to have any form of gaping and all of that. I'll try and reduce it also on this side. You see the way I'm going in and then coming out again. Yeah, so this is what we are going to have. Yeah, so this is our front pattern, and then this is our back pattern. We have only 1, 2, 3 pieces. Front, and then this is the back. So guys, I've gone ahead to like keep this down. So remember that I this place I added like 0.75 sewing allowance here. This is the center front, and then I didn't add anything at the down part because I already had made my length to be 25. I had my sewing allowance already there, and then I didn't also add anything sewing allowance there because by the time I sew this, my neck will be 4.5, so I don't mind it. But if you want it to be more conservative, you can decide to like add sewing allowance here. So for this is my back. Remember that the back side is just one pattern, so I went ahead and added like 1 inch here for my zip allowance. Obviously I've already added 1 inch here for my sewing allowance. Okay, so I didn't add anything here for the length. I didn't also add anything also for the neck here. Oh yeah, I need to wait, guys. I need to cut this out. I'm coming. So guys, you can see I have gone ahead to cut out the back side. So disregard this line that is here. You can see I added 0.50 at this top part, and also at this part, and also at the armhole side. And then when I reached this 1 inch at the zip allowance, I went like straight. You can see it's not like a V that came down this way because this is our zip allowance. Obviously I already have my 1 inch added to the pattern, so I don't have to do that. So I'll go ahead and cut out this and then place the the side front, and then I'll come back and show you what it's looking like. So this is the side front. You can see I've also added 0.50 and also 0.50 here, and then I added 0.75 at this point all the way down. I didn't add at this side because I already added 1 inch here, and then also the length I didn't add the length. So I'll go ahead and cut this out. I'm going to replicate this and cut the lining and also the interfacing I'm going to be using. Let me show you guys. I'm going to be using this interfacing. This is called Estee cotton. This is the cotton. They have the nylon one, so this is the cotton. I hope you can see it very well. So this is what I'm going to be using. So I'll cut the lining and then cut this Estee. Yeah, I'll be back. So guys, I have gone ahead to like gum the estay to the main fabric and also to the lining, and also this, you can see this is my side front. So the next thing I'm going to do, remember that at the under bust I notched it when I was, you know, doing what I was doing this side. So you can see this this line here. So in this line here, that is where I'm going to put this crinoline on. This crinoline is going to help to like give my base, because it's a bustier structure. So what I'm going to do first is to flatten this with like iron it on low heat. Don't use like a high heat, okay? And then I am going to place it here so that it is going to start on that 14, your round under bust. Sorry, your under bust length. Please let it not pass your under bust length. So now I have this, I'll go ahead and cut this out. Then I'll be using hemming gum to hold it together, okay? So what I'll now do is I'll take this, I'll remove this and then place the hemming gum here. Let it start from the under bust length, okay? Then I'll cut it, place these ones, like I'll keep placing it to the end, okay? You can decide to keep this here, place this here, and then place this here. Then I'll put this at this under bust. I'll take this in because I'll remove this one because obviously it's more than normal. And then now I have done this, okay, I'll go ahead and iron it down. I'll just press it so that the hemming gum will adhere the crinoline to the fabric. But as I'm doing this, I make sure that, you know, I do it firmly. So I want my outfit to be firm completely, so I'll go ahead and also repeat the same thing. Like I'm going to double this so I can put it at this side as well. Do you understand? So now I have gotten, let me iron this down. So I'll put it here, okay? I'll do the same thing, cut this side off, then use crinoline, I mean not crinoline, use hemming gum to adhere it. With that way you're going to have a structured bust, a bust that you can wear. You might even do that and not wear a bra because it's going to be firm. So I'll do this, then I'll cover this up and then iron it back. So you see how structured it is. So I'll just hold this at the back side. You see the way I'm just keeping my iron down, not really pressing hard. So when I've done that, I'll go ahead and trim off the excess. Okay, I'll trim off the excess. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to bring my stay, my interface in this one. I'll get this out, okay, and then place it this way. Let it start from the under bust. I want it to cover up this crinoline. Let me remove the price, this thing. Okay, I want it to cover up the crinoline. Okay, so I'll trim this out. Then I'll iron this down. I'll press it down so that it covers up the crinoline neatly. So you see what you have. Then I'll turn to the front and then again we trim out the edges here and then trim out the edges here. So guys, for the side, if you come here at the under bust, you can see there is this notching that is here. So that is what I am going to be having. So I am going to also iron this, flatten this like how we did for the center front. and then I'll place my crinoline this way. Okay, remember it's going to start from the under bust length. Okay, so now I've placed it this way. I am going to make sure that it reaches the end here, but when it comes to like this side, okay, I don't want it to reach the side up to the end part, because you know you have sewing allowance here. So I'll probably come in like, let's say by 3 inches. Okay, so at these 3 inches I'm going to now cut this out. So I am going to be using this one, just like what I did here. I'll go ahead and, you know, put my my crinoline until we reach the topmost part. Okay, so I'll put this here. I think this came like this, right? Yes, it came this way. So I'll now iron everything down. Iron it down. Okay, I'll replicate the same thing here. Okay, so the next thing you are going to do is to cover it up using your stay. So I'll go ahead and do it for the other side, okay, and as well as the lining. Then we'll go ahead and let us join everything together. So guys, I have gone ahead to like join the pattern, like the whole thing together, side to side. Do you get? I want to show you guys something in the lining side there. If you wash, I just did, you know, the main pattern, the main fabric, I did like double to the end. But for this one, I just stopped here. I didn't go up because, you know, it's lining. I don't want this edge to be like too thick. Do you get? I want it to still be like soft, but I just added it only here. So I want to show you something too. You can see at the lining side here, I hope you can see that I top stitched this thing so that it can lay flat. So go ahead and do that. But for this one, the main material, I didn't top stitch that. I'm going to be doing open ironing technique, which I'll open this up and then iron it down. Okay, then for this side, I am going to go ahead and like put like some form of notch, you know, diagonally to loosen like the space. Do you get? So I can be able to like flatten it. So I have balls like this. These are like ironing balls for me. I put this here. First of all, let me use it. I like to use this first because this is stronger. Like, I don't know if you can see. This is stronger. This is softer. Like, it can pierce. Can you see the difference in texture? So I use the stronger one to like, for now, I'm open it up this way. And then I'll open up this place. Okay? And iron it down slowly till I reach the end. So I'll go ahead and do the same for this side, and I'm going to be back. So I'll go ahead and do the same for this side, and I'm going to be back. So I'm going to cut out like stripe of like a band of stay. Let's say give or take 3 inches in width. Okay. So now I've cut it out, something like this. Just it is not a hard and fast rule. Then I'll now put this from the under bust. I'll use this stay to like flatten this down. This is the last stage of this, so that it's flat. You get? It's flat in a way. So this is what I am going to do to cover this place up. I'll take it up as I'm going. I will push in my hand, like you see the way I'm holding it with my hand, so that it will hold it together to flatten it. Okay, then I'll do the same for here till I reach the end. So guys, now I am done ironing everything. As you can see, the white, the front, and then this is the back. I've also going to iron the back, open ironing technique. Can you see? So I'll now come and hold this together. Remember that when I was drafting this pattern, I added 1 inch to this. So I'll hold this clothes here. I'll hold it down by 1 inch. I'll hold it at this side, and I'll also replicate the same thing for both the lining as well. Then I'll be back. So guys, I want to reduce the length of this. I know I made it to be 25, but I've realized I want my length to be about 23. So my under bust length is 14.5. So I'm going to place my tape as, you know, that place you can see the line where like your under bust, where we put our crinoline. So I'll put it there, then I'll come down. I'll do 23.5 because obviously sewing allowance things, do you get? So I'll do the same thing here, then I'll connect it together and then cut it. Now I'm done cutting it, I'll take this to the side this way. You see the way it has, the sides are all overlapping with each other. Okay, I'll now take this up at this point here by 3 inches. As I've taken it up this way, I'll just curve this out. It's just, I'm using freehand, but you can use a curve ruler. I am going to cut this out. This is what I'm going to sew. Then I'll come here and like cut this place off so that everything will align. You get? I'll cut this place off. I'll also cut here off so that everything is equal. I hope you understand. So this is the back of the outfit. Even this back, I want to make it a little bit more curved instead of a V. So I'll just make it this way. I'll replicate the same thing on the lining, but once I'm done, the next thing I want to do now, I'm going to get this boning here, this one. I want to place it here, but under here. I'll sew it from the back here. I'll place it it will be from the underbust, to the full length. Okay, I want this to have a bit of structure, so I'll place it in between this line, this joining here, do you get? And then sew it down. I also do it also on this other side. I also do the same thing also on the lining, so that it is going to, I want it to like, you know, have structure. The next thing, once they are done, the next thing I'm going to do is to now join the outfit from these parts or the neckline. Join it all the way round, okay, so that it will now remain just the down part. So let me do that and I'll be back.